be together. Sorry if I ruined the song. Well, as you know, it's a little bit bright out here. I'm thinking it's February already. Oh, wait, no. Guess what? It's only 5:09 as I started this recording of this next topic I'm going to talk about. So it's now 5:30, for Christ's sake. I left at 5, so I get to leave early at 5 o'clock. Good for me, because that's how, based on my knowledge, every office, if you're working in an office like my mom does, like I know a few of my friends and even ex-close friends who used to work in an office. Hell, I think Nathan, if I'm not mistaken, works in an office. That those people usually leave at 5 o'clock. And 5 o'clock is usually the standard time. And 8 o'clock is when they will start, much earlier, but that's fine with me as long as they get out earlier. And look, here's a good advantage. Here's a good advantage right now, leaving at 5 o'clock. So at 5 o'clock, I still get to see a little bit of sky. So even if the sunset, now that daylight savings time is, what's been over, it's over for at least the next couple months, what have you. Even with the sunset being at 9:43, you still see a little bit of light out here. So once I leave at 5 o'clock, I still see a little bit of light, which means, I guess, the street will still be seen, a little bit more compared to when it's 5:30 and it's already dark. And obviously, I know how that is, but this is how it should be. We all leave at 5 o'clock, where it's, even if the sunset time is like 4:43, then it'll be, then you'll still see even a little bit of light up here. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it should be. Not 5:30, man. I'm sick of leaving at 5:30. Like every time that happens, my mood is just lost. I'm sorry, I'm just drinking my hot chocolate. My free hot chocolate from Coffee Bean. Yeah, it was a free small hot cocoa with the purchase of a regular or large beverage. And since I go to Coffee Bean, I'm like damn near every day, or just every day if if I got nothing else to do, or usually after a shoot-around game, assuming that there's no, what's the right word to use? Barring overtime, then I would usually have the time to get over there. So I got here on a Friday, even if I took a 30-minute lunch, and I made some time to work on that project for Emily's birthday. I know her birthday was on November 10th. Well, it's gonna be super late, but better late than never, right? So I was in Coffee Bean. I was working on her project. I was there for a little bit. I got my drink, so I made my half an hour lunch break pretty productive. You know what I'm saying? So I got my So I got my my large beverage, right? The usual large beverage of either dark chocolate. I mean, I get half and half combinations now, and they usually taste better than the regulars. So my favorite ones so far, if you're talking about blended, I'm all about the dark chocolate and cookie butter ice blended latte. You know what I'm saying? That is one of the best I've ever tasted. The midnight, the midnight mocha? I think that one was hella good. I'm talking about the blended drink. When it comes to hot, it's peppermint mocha and dark chocolate. Much better taste to the peppermint mocha, because that's usually a good association. And then I don't know, what is it? I think I had a cookie butter with pumpkin spice. That's a good one. Cookie butter with peppermint. It's okay. But yeah, the best one to me is peppermint dark chocolate and cookie butter and dark chocolate when it comes to the ice blended. So yeah, those are my most favorite ones. So I got me a large beverage. It's a half and half of a, what did I get? Peppermint mocha and dark chocolate. So I'm drinking my small drink right now as I'm on my way to get a little bit of gas right now. I'm going somewhere later with this car. Not going to be the driver, but yeah, just doing myself a favor here. So, as regards to this topic right here, I don't want to take too long, right? So let's try to be as quick as I can, because I've been wanting to talk about this for quite some time already, and I haven't had a chance to talk. I really wanted to talk about it during October, and usually that time I'd be watching the reviews of the Casper, the Spirit of Beginning movie that I used to watch a whole lot, like a million times when I was a kid. Dang, every time I get out of school, I was in elementary school at the time. It was like every Friday I'll be watching Casper, Spirit of Beginning. If it's not that, it would be Lost World Jurassic Park. I don't know. As a kid, that and the Lost World, Casper, Spirit of Beginning is number one. Lost World probably number two. And I think Godzilla number three. It's either that or Mr. Bean, but I would probably say Bean. But yeah, dude, nothing beat like my most favorite movie when I watched as a kid, Casper, Spirit of Beginning. Now I've watched like all the rants, like even the same ones from the last few years. I've watched it every year since the first time I started watching those rants, and they were hilarious to watch, dude. Now just growing up as an adult, like having to watch and observe the movie a little bit more, especially through the critiques, those harsh critiques that are just hilarious as hell. Shout out to the guys like Cat Karis, whose review is just damn hilarious. KRX and the detective guys, and even some of the guys like what's his name, the Headbanger, and I forgot that's the username, Headbanger. Number two, I think the other one is Media Wiz or something like that. Their reviews are hilarious, but Karis is very hilarious. The detectives, and yeah, man. So hold on, I'm at the gas station right now, so let me get some gas first, and then I'll do this review as before I head home. All right, peace, everyone. I'll be back. Okay, so instead of doing a review of that movie, giving my thoughts on the entire movie like the other guys did, the ones that I mentioned for Casper, Spirit of the Beginning, I'm gonna do this topic more specifically on the fact that this movie is your true, based on all the reviews that I listened to, on all the rants, it pretty much boils down to one common aspect, and that is that the movie is your true kids horror movie. And let me explain why. I mean, you have about a few scenes where, just like some of what the guys have said on their reviews, that supposedly it's a kids movie, but the way the movie's been made, I mean, directed by Saban, I mean, I'm trying to recall, other than having watched Casper, Spirit of the Beginning and Casper Meets Wendy with my lovely my then girlfriend Hilary Duff, who played Wendy. I don't, and also Beetleborgs with I forgot that girl's name, the one who played Joe. She also played Casper, Spirit of the Beginning. Other than those three that I watched, I don't know if I've watched any other Saban related movie, and I'm just trying to, I don't really recall, but from what I know, I mean, I don't know some of the other movies that Saban has made. I only know that, and Casper Meets Wendy, and as a kid, those two movies were my favorites. Casper was pretty beginning my most favorite, and now growing up and watching it, I started to gain a much better understanding in terms of, you know, how the movie functioned, right? And, you know, like why, you know, some things that just really don't, that they're just became confused. They're just so confusing and misleading, and some scenes that are just unnecessary. I'm getting more into the unnecessary part, which is why I mentioned per this title that that it's your true kids horror movie. And I say horror movie because, like I said, there are a few scenes in there that, you know, that just seem so unreal that it would become just like a horror movie that you would, you know, either it's based on something true that just happened, or it's just completely fictional, like it never would happen, right? So one of the scenes, and I find this to be funny, but for it to be part of the kids movie, and a lot of guys, almost everyone actually pointed this out, which is when I think when Chris Carson, played by Brendan Ryan Barrett, was teaching Casper, you know, some more tricks, some more ghostly tricks and, you know, skills of a ghost. Casper was like, I think I forgot what Chris was teaching. I think it was like lesson something about going through walls or something like that. And Casper was like, yeah, hey, I know that one already. And then he proceeded to try to do that when Chris was like, wait. And then when he was trying to go through the wall, like in hyper speed, he actually got hit like with a bucket. I had no idea where that bucket came from. And that bucket looked so CGI. One might have thought, is that bucket on top of one of the lockers or something like that? Who knew? But yeah, so Casper got caught in the bucket as he was, you know, being thrown into the bathroom, you know, with the bucket left there as he ended up going through the glass window of the bathroom, the men's bathroom, mind you, and, you know, unintentionally having opened every stall and ends up in the one where the principal is. And when the principal Rady saw Casper right there, he saw that Casper held on to you know, a roll of toilet paper, and the principal was like, he was screaming immediately, and then, you know, he pulled up his boxers, and then, you know, he immediately escaped in panic. And once he went outside, he saw, I don't know who that lady was. I don't know if that was the teacher or something like that, or the librarian. I don't know, but yeah, Alonzo is like, I need you right now. And that one right there. And it was funny because the lady slapped him because she saw him wearing the boxers like that. But the way that the scene was, you know, was portrayed, I mean, I get why. A lot of people just found that scene to be not necessarily a kid's part, and that's how they're all concerned that, you know, like they're surprised that Saban even put that part in the kids movie, right? Now here's the other one. Obviously, you know, we know with Chris's dad, who was played by Steve Gutenberg, and you know, a workaholic, hardly ever has time for his son, right? And he, you know, Chris was going to introduce him to his supposed best friend, Casper, as he tells him to wait out the window, right next to his window, right? And Casper was out there as Chris and his dad were, you know, were ascending the stairs to Chris's room, and then Casper, as it cuts to that scene right next to Chris's window, that you know, he was figuring out what to say, and then the ghostly trio just came up to capture him. So ultimately, Casper was taken by the ghostly trio to the Applegate mansion, and from there, that's when the drama started, and here comes, Mr. Carson being a total jerk, just, instead of just, what's the right word to use? Instead of, lecturing your own son who is only 10 years old, he comes out just with his sheer frustration, just trashes all his stuff. Well, not all of his stuff, but just some of his posters and some of his toys. Like one of them was a Beetleborgs, if I'm not mistaken, and and he just storms out of the house to go see the mayor, for this whole ongoing mission to demolish the mansion, right? And so that part right there, it's not also your ordinary like kids movie in terms of the way that the scene is portrayed. And any kid watching that movie today, which is by many people, especially those who have reviewed, like from the guys that I listen to, it's by their standards a terrible movie, a terrible kids movie, right? That scene right there, like if kids were to watch that movie today, they might get that impression that maybe some of their fathers would be like that should they just be so stubborn and act like your typical 10-year-old, So that's another supposed horror scene right there, even though it's not really horror, but I just like to call it a horrifying scene because you wouldn't think that for a kid, especially around that age of 10 years old, that you would not have them see like their own parent just literally trash their stuff and just over some misunderstanding that gets them frustrated or mad, and then you do that as a parent. You do that, which is insane. But yeah, but here's the one that's really considered your true kids horror movie. That's when Chris ran away. He ran into Brock and his other two guys, the bullies, and Jennifer tries to defend them, and then next thing you know, Brock has enough of her, and now those guys, him and his gang, took Chris all the way into the mansion, right? They literally just carried him over, to the mansion, as it shows that scene where he just, they're literally carrying him on the way to the mansion, and then going inside and, saying all these lame insults, right? And, and Chris, who was it? The guy that played by Logan Robbins or something like that? I think his name was Logan in there too, if I'm not mistaken. So they throw him into this unknown room that's like right under the stairs. And they close the door, and Brock has the key, locks him in there for dear life, I suppose. I don't know if these guys had any idea that the bomb was in there, but I don't know. Who knows? They're bullies, so when you think about bullies like that, they just obviously don't know shit, right? So just yeah, you better be careful because I know it's nighttime and it's not easy. If I didn't have lights and that car came by, then if an accident happened right in that spot, if my lights were either off on accident or they are no longer working, then I would definitely understand that it would be my fault. well, I mean, but then it's like, I know an accident would happen right there because that car would definitely proceed, and I would have to like immediately slow down for to avoid that accident. That's because the headlights are off. Either they're not working, or they're just or just forgot to turn them on. You know what I'm saying? Now that's where I'm usually much more aware now in the streets, because you just never know what you see. You can come across any car you come by as you're making a right turn onto the street or into the next street from the residential, and you can see, and you just never know. You have to have really sharp eyes to literally see a car coming without headlights. That's hard. Not everybody has that kind of vision like I do. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. But not to go off tangent here, but yeah, dude. So that scene right there, that's considered another horror. I mean, as to why I call Casper Spirit of the Beginning a true kids horror movie. So it's those scenes that I just pointed out in particular as to why it's not your typical kids movie in that sense, right? So it's just that's I mean that movie by like now that I watch it again, especially as I watch it with the boss in Eugene, there's just a lot of scenes that I just revisited that are just totally misleading, confusing, and especially when you get Tim Carson on the phone inside an RV, and I don't know how he did not hear all the screams of the people when the ghostly trio were like harassing them, and then when he comes out, it's like, what the hell? He has no idea. Yeah, it's just a lot of stupidity. But it is what it is, right? So yeah, that's my review on this topic right here. As for Casper Spirit of Beginning, I just want to talk about it more in terms of it being a true kids horror movie. As I pointed out, a few scenes that were. Would I recommend it to any kids watching it? Oh no, because there's better kids movies out there and better horror movies than that. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about it. Tell me what you guys think.
Ho, 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 ho.